reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon,
everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon. We have a call already? What a time. Caller, welcome to GPS. Oh, okay. Yeah, my God. They must see us up and they won't talk about dead body. Today is the day. TGIF Open Line show, where you get to talk about whatever is important to you the week that was. And that person called before I even finished my my introduction. So they must see got something hot they got to get off their chest. Well, it's JT. Okay, I guess he'll call right back. The numbers to call 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages and text messages only is 8010271, 8010271. So, what would you like to talk about? Remember now, you guys are my co-host for today. This is how we do it on a Friday. I have pulled some clips just in case you all acting standoffish today and don't want to engage right away. But I want this show to be as much a part of what you want to talk about as it is a part of what I have prepared to talk about. That's the whole point of doing open line shows, where we get to hear from you and your thoughts on various issues. So I've pulled a couple of clips from the news, several news stations this past week. I'm just trying to decide what we're going to start with. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, and his colleagues are taking issue with the government of the Bahamas for what they allege or are suggesting was an illegal act on the part of the government to borrow money from the central bank for an unknown purpose. And Pintard and his colleagues are taking issue with that because as far as they are concerned, the government broke the law because there was no place within the law that could justify that action. So I'm going to play that clip first. And then the government responded saying that they were going to come to Parliament after the fact to adjust the law to accommodate the action. But let's begin with the first instance where Pintard is complaining about the fact that the government took this step, which they described as illegal.
Leader of the opposition Michael Pintard questioning the funds the government is acquiring through a loan from Central Bank of the Bahamas. In the central bank's November 2022 report, it reads that the bank has made arrangements with the Ministry of Finance for the government to have direct access to the special drawing rights allocated to the Bahamas by the IMF in 2021. As of December 19, 2022, the allocation is valued at $232.8 million. Pintard pushes the government to reveal what these funds will be used for.
We are unclear on what is the purpose that the government is seeking to draw down on these funds. They have not revealed in any documentation for us or the general public, first of all, that they were going to borrow from the central bank. Secondly, they have not indicated the purpose. We wish to see the memorandum of understanding between the central bank and the government to understand what has been agreed. We know that these types of funds are short-term, only short-term loans could in fact be issued to a government under very special circumstances.
Pintard also believes the government has violated the Central Bank Act 2020, which only permits the bank to offer short-term loans, and pushes for a memorandum of understanding between the government and central bank to be signed.
But even if there were special circumstances, which of course a memorandum of understanding can lay out, we know that the loan would be for about 91 days, and it would clearly lay out what is the length of time that the government has taken possession of these funds. Second thing, it would show what the interest rate is. We know that under the Central Bank Act, that the interest rate has to be whatever the prevailing interest rate is in the market. And again, in the absence of the memorandum of understanding, we are alarmed that the government would do this, because really when you borrow from the central bank, it is the equivalent of the government printing money.
The Marco City MP expresses great concern for what financial state the country is in for the government to want this loan.
What has changed since last year to now that the central bank has been, in our view, encouraged strongly by government to engage in this kind of transaction? What has changed? Secondly, what is it about our finances that have made this necessary at this time, given the government consistent boasting about us being ahead of projections in terms of revenue?
When contacted for a response on this issue, Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis telling Eyewitness News that the Prime Minister is expected to release a statement regarding the loan.
Okay, so since that report, we've heard quite a bit about what the government intends to do to deal with this. And I'm going to read some excerpts from an article that appeared in the Tribune, written by Neil Hartnell, under the headline, Government Pledges Law Change Over Its $233 Million Borrowing. And the article begins, the government has promised to change the law to facilitate its use of $233 million in International Monetary Fund special drawing rights, or SDRs, that have, for the past 16 months, boosted the Bahamas' foreign reserves. John Roll, the central bank's governor, yesterday revealed to Tribune Business that the Memorandum of Understanding between the Monetary Policy Regulator and the Ministry of Finance stipulates that the Davis administration must change the Central Bank Act to facilitate the transaction. I want to read that again. John Roll, the central bank's governor, yesterday revealed to the Tribune Business that the Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU, between the Monetary Policy Regulator, which is the central bank, and the Ministry of Finance stipulates that the Davis administration must change the Central Bank Act to facilitate the transaction. So, in other words, the transactions took place before the legal framework was in place to allow the transactions to take place. And it was a part of the memorandum of understanding that the necessary framework would be in place after the fact. Speaking after the opposition leaders challenged whether the government's SDR's borrowing has any legal basis, he said, opportunity cost of not using the IMF providing financing had significantly increased compared to when they were issued in August of 2021, suggesting that the SDRs are no longer needed to bolster the Bahamas' foreign currency reserves, given the strength of the country's post-COVID tourism and wider recovery. Mr. Roll nevertheless conceded the two sides had put the proverbial cart before the horse by agreeing the transaction prior to giving it the necessary legal underpinning. The article continues. The central bank worked closely with the government in concluding these arrangements to access the SDRs, the governor told this newspaper via an email reply, and it continues quoting him. Under the MOU, there is an undertaking by the government to amend the Central Bank Act to cover the use of the 2021 allocations. This is very interesting indeed. Before I go to the comments, and if you guys decide to call in, here now is another report after that revelation with Pintard and his colleagues alleging, or I don't know if alleging is the right word, but they are stating that this is pretty much a pattern with this particular government as it relates to what they call breaking the law. So here now is that report.
Leader of the opposition Michael Pintard questioning the funds the government is acquiring through a loan from Central Bank of the Bahamas. In the central bank's November 2022 report, it reads that the bank has made arrangements with the Ministry of Finance for the government to have direct access to the special drawing rights allocated to the Bahamas by the IMF in 2021. As of December 19, 2022, the allocation is valued at $232.8 million. Pintard pushes the government to reveal what these funds will be used for.
We are unclear on what is the purpose that the government is seeking to draw down on these funds. They have not revealed in any documentation for us or the general public, first of all, that they were going to borrow from the central bank. Secondly, they have not...
Sorry, that was the same report. Here now is the second report.
We have yet another example of the government violating one of several financial laws, which sends the wrong message to the credit market, locally and internationally.
Leader of the opposition Michael Pintard making an impassioned cry for the government to be held accountable, as he alleges the continued cycle of them breaking the law must end. This much as the government announced they will amend the Central Bank Act to cover the use of over $230 million worth of the International Monetary Fund's special drawing rights held by the Central Bank of the Bahamas. Pintard reminds the public of the issues they've had with the government in the past few months.
The pattern of behavior, both Mr. Thompson and myself in particular have highlighted the breaches in the past. The Procurement Act, they continue to give contracts to only God knows who. We don't know who they are giving contracts to. And they continue to violate the Financial Management Act in terms of tardiness, in terms of reporting, and in some cases not reporting. The Fiscal Strategy Report for a housing project in Carmichael, we believe it to be an illegal loan, that the minister did not have the authority to execute it. And they just brazen along. Shamelessly, they go along because they don't believe that stakeholders, inclusive of the opposition, the media, the public, will hold them responsible for good governance.
Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama Kwesi Thompson also implies that the government is hiding a fiscal emergency that would require the use of the funds from the SDR.
That the public must answer, because if you decide that I am going to take this advance now without properly changing the law, and you admit it, what was the urgent matter that had to take place that you could not have proceeded within the law and gone ahead and change the Central Bank Act and then proceeded after that?
Pintard also rejects any suggestion that the law cannot evolve quickly enough to keep up with the changing times of the world.
This is not a case of modernizing the law as the Prime Minister had sought to signal. And in fact, we don't know what the amendments are going to look like that he is going to bring to the table.
All right. So, quoting an article again, it says Mr. Wilson yesterday confirmed that following the MOU signing with the central bank, the government had begun to draw down on the $233 million SDR facility, which is effectively being treated as a loan against the foreign currency reserves that must be repaid. He added that it will be drawn down in stages as the need arises, and the funds will not be employed to meet the government's, quote, domestic obligations, end quote. Now, I'm coming to you right now, Caller. I don't know if y'all watched the show yesterday with Alison Moultrie. If you did not, I suggest that you listen to that show, because what he would have said on the show yesterday, pretty much this is a really good example of what he was trying to describe as a part of the problem with our system of governance. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good day and God bless you, Michelle. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. And Happy New Year, if I haven't said it yet to you, for the year.
Same to you.
I have several points I'd like to pursue with you here. First one of all, in all of this back and forth between the government and the opposition regarding those special funds drawn down, has the government yet specifically stated what the funds are being used for?
If they have, I have not heard it.
Right. Now, as a matter of principle, I support the opposition on this one. If the law says that you deal with A first before you deal with B, and the government is now dealing with B first before it deals with A, then the government is wrong.
Putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, exactly. And it is so amazing that whether it's the FNM or the PLP in government, over the years, governments seem to always do things that they don't allow or won't allow the Bahamian people, the masses, to do. Perfect example here. You know, the Non-Profit Act that was passed in 2019 under the Minister administration. That act requires now that all non-profits, if they have donations at or above $75,000, whether it's from one individual or more than one, that the non-profits must disclose that to the regulatory body, i.e. the Registrar General's office. But it's the same governing administration, regardless of as to the party that's in power, but the same governing administration or body that refuses to disclose to you and me, their collective bosses, who donates funds to their political campaigns. You see the blatant hypocrisy here? You and I have nothing against and no problems with following the rule of law. But as the preamble of our country states, that we are a country that are supposed to be abiding by the rule of law, then the government, from all indications, is in violation of the purpose and the spirit and intent of the Constitution. I mean, how could anybody sit in government and do these things and expect that it is right, and and think that it is right, morally right, and or legally right, and have nobody to challenge them?
Well,
I mean,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know, JT, whether or not they believe it's morally or legally right. I just think they just don't give a damn because they can. Because they can. That is the nutshell of the answer
But
to that
Michelle,
question. Because
Michelle,
they can.
and I accept your personal input just now, right? I accept that. But it cannot be a matter of opinion. It has to be by law.
You would think.
It has to be. We are constitutionally obligated to operate by the rules of law. It's supposed to be that way. So when it is not being done that way, somebody is flying in the face of the Constitution.
So what else is new?
Ah, boy.
you walking like there's something unusual in this country. What else is new?
Michelle, but see, Michelle, you just made such a telling comment about us in this country.
It is what it is.
You put it wrong.
Yes, I agree.
It is what it is, but it's still wrong.
I agree with you 1,000%. Don't get me wrong by saying what I'm saying.
No,
I'm not saying.
I know. I follow you. I know you're not supporting the wrong. But see, for me, you remember the saying, two wrongs never make one right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but
I find it amazing. Let me put it this way. I think that Pintard is doing his job as a leader of the opposition by bringing this to the fore. That's what they're supposed to be doing, holding the feet to the fire of the powers in position. But
they got a whole lot of skeletons in there.
Well, you understand where I'm going with this because this financial, this cliff we find ourselves on ain't just start with the Davis administration.
Exactly.
And they too were covering up the fact that we are in such a bad position financially, which was one of the reasons why Minnis had to call an early election.
Exactly. And he never told you and me, the public, what the state of affairs financially
It was all, everything is roses and, everything is wonderful, lying through their teeth. Meanwhile, economists who understand this whole thing were warning, listen, man, we're on a financial edge of a cliff.
And, the governor of the central bank, when I heard the contribution by him in that article you read earlier, that is what got my my antennas up, so to speak. The central bank governor says that the government went about it the wrong way. That's essentially what he said.
But remember now, you heard the show at House of Moultrie yesterday, right?
No, I didn't catch it. No.
Oh, man, you need to go watch that show. This is exactly what he was talking about. The way that our system works now, or should I say is not working now, is that because of the possible manipulation of the leader of a country and the size of the cabinets that they have, people can't or aren't willing to go against what he says. And when I say he, I'm not talking about Philip Davis. I'm talking about the position.
Yes.
Right? This is exactly what Mr. Moultrie was trying to describe yesterday.
But that same point is what House of Moultrie was talking about at one point in time when he was the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Because I believe it was him who said to the ruling party at the time, the Minnis administration, that they got to be careful because they are threatening democracy. Words to that effect. Of course, I'm not quoting him.
He did eventually stand up against his own party, and they did spank him for it.
And they were trying to get rid of him and couldn't. So I suppose that's why part of the reason why they call it a snap election.
Right.
But the other point I want to raise now, the government, from the comments by the governor of the central bank, and from reasonable thinking, that the Davis administration went about this wrong. Now, that being said, and yes, they haven't disclosed to you and me yet,
And
what the money.
I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for that disclosure either.
Boy, I tell you. So, Michelle,
Mm-hmm.
downtown, Bay Street, you and me knows an eyesore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the government has, by way of the Constitution, the right of compulsory acquisition / eminent domain to take property away from private citizens only for the public good,
Mm-hmm.
and then they must compensate landowners from whom the properties are taken.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if let's say these funds were drawn down legally, they weren't, but let's say that they were. I would dare say, and I would have thought by now, that the government would have been wise enough, constitutionally astute enough, and determined enough to put at least $100 million in reclaiming Bay Street via eminent domain, taking all of those properties away from the private owners, putting it into a private corporation that would be a national corporation for you and I to buy shares into, and fund the thing to break down all of them buildings, or to clean up Bay Street, revive and revitalize Bay Street. Now, I ain't hear nobody saying nothing like that. Again, we know the money wasn't drawn down properly, but if the money was drawn down properly, I never hear government talking about doing something as what's the word I'm looking for? As drastic, positively drastic, as taking private properties from the owners of the properties on Bay Street and spending the money for the purpose of the public good to redevelop that area. The American embassy is going up. The Prince George dock obviously is going up. Other spots here and there, but the government itself has not been doing anything. Now, I stand to be corrected because I ain't been listening to the news. So I stand to be corrected, but from what I understand, the government hasn't done anything to ensure its role in revitalizing Bay Street. They haven't even given the central bank the go-ahead yet to build this new building. So my thing is, if we're going to be drawing down all of this money, we, the public, needs to know what the money is being drawn down for, because my fellow Bahamians, whether you understand it or appreciate it or not, or know this or not, at the end of the day, you and me, the man and woman on the street, gotta pay that money back. Our taxpayers' money. Every time the government raises taxes or is put in a position to raise taxes, it's the burden is placed on you and I, the members of the public collectively, to pay those monies back. And yes, that's an internal debt, but it's a debt nonetheless. It has to be paid back. The Prime Minister doesn't take that money out of his pocket. That money comes out of the public treasury that you and I, when we pay taxes, our monies go into. So we have the right to know why the money was drawn down. First of all, why was it done wrongly? And then, having been done wrongly,
there must have been some emergency that required that.
Yeah, the public needs to know this. We have a right to know this. We're not children. And Michelle, I am honestly tired of governing administrations, one after the other, treating the collective mindset of we, the Bahamian people, as if we are children.
They're doing so because they can, JT, because our
too quiet.
Our love for politics, our tribalistic attitude makes it possible for them to do so, because I putting on the color, the shades of whatever my party color is, and I don't care what they do, wrong, right, or in between, I with them.
Well, that's why the country's in a mess, because if Peter is going to agree and support Paul, even though Paul is wrong, then Peter is just as guilty as Paul is called guilt by association. In any event, I just thought I would call in and put in my 1 cent.
Yeah. It is what it is, man.
But
We as a people have to determine that we're serious about wanting change. Because listen, the way life works is this. Even children behave this way.
yeah,
They will get away with whatever you
if
allow
you let
them to
them
get
get
away
away
with.
yes, yep, yep.
And they will keep pushing that envelope and pushing that envelope and
Uh-huh.
going as close to that line as they can until you put your foot down as a parent and say no.
But you see, Michelle, right now, I mean, how many election cycles have we had wherein you've had multiple third party options, and yet we, the Bahamian people, have not yet elected a healthy, wholesome third party
Because
option?
we so caught up in our political
Yeah,
tribalism.
yeah, tribalism,
You ain't seeing
political
nothing else, and you ain't seeing
tribalism.
no one else except your party colors.
See, Michelle,
And here's the thing. My thing is this: if that is the way you want to approach life in the Bahamas, fine. But if that's what you want to do, then at least make sure that the party that you are supporting, you put
things the
pressure
right
on them to do the right
exactly
thing.
to do things the right way. Exactly.
At least do that.
At least. Oh boy, Michelle, the Bible tells you and me when when the righteous rule, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people mourn. Now, I've been feeling or hearing too much mourning yet from
No?
either.
Where you
Michelle,
been? You know how much people in this country suffering right now?
No, hear me carefully. I ain't saying we ain't suffering, because I know we're suffering. My point is, I haven't been hearing any backlash yet. Big time backlash against the Davis administration. I haven't heard or seen it yet. But yet, of course, we're suffering. Many of us are.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, though, this wouldn't be the case if we had righteous government in this country. And I'm not talking necessarily about a Christian government, even though I rather and prefer that. But I'm talking about a government that is based on God's principles of good governance. And the only and best way for that to ever happen is to have honest men and women who have moral convictions, who trust in and believe in God and His way of doing things to be in power.
Mm-hmm.
They would make mistakes as imperfect human beings, but I dare say the mistakes that such a governing entity would make would be far less than what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are convicted and convinced and to do the right thing, you're going to do the right thing no matter, even though sometimes you may buck your toe, you're still going to want to go the right way and do the right thing, and more than likely, you'll succeed at doing the right thing. But when governing administrations constantly do these kinds of things, they're flying in the face of God, for one, because God put them there to rule and to rule righteously and properly, and they're not doing it. And then they're insulting and assaulting the integrity of you and I. In any event, and one of the other things that disturbs me is that when you have topics like these, Michelle, you hardly have people calling in and commenting.
Yeah.
And some would complain about JD talking with you as long as I'm talking.
Somebody on Facebook say, I believe that JD has been under a rock. I know what they mean by that.
Well, with all due respect, my fellow Bahamian, I'm not saying that reality isn't happening out there. Okay? Because I've been hearing the unions kicking up here and there. I understand that there's some agitation. But my point is, I haven't felt yet. You know how the country was so ready to get rid of Menace and throw him under the bus, like we did do politically? I don't feel that point of, I don't feel that we're at that point of agitation yet as a people with the Davis administration. Okay? I just don't sense that yet. Now, if it happens, it happens, but I don't sense it yet to that extent. But of course, there are problems out there. Of course, there are a lot of things that the Davis administration can do better and should do better. This situation with these funds being one of them.
Right.
And that I'm sure you had the other day. I couldn't even listen to it. It hurt my soul too much about the situation in Abaco with the illegal immigrant population over there.
Yeah.
Michelle, I couldn't listen to it. It hurts my soul too much to see how we are allowing this country to be assaulted.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a serious
Governments
thing.
are not supposed to be allowing these things. And Michelle, with all due respect, whenever one has government leaders in power who put foreign interest above national interest, whether that foreign interest is legal or illegal, you tend to attack and destroy the integrity of your own national sovereignty, national strength, and national integrity. And unfortunately, that's what's happening. Loftus Rocco won this country long time ago. And the man's word has come home to roost.
Yep, pretty much.
God bless you, my dear. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Thanks for calling. Boy, we're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, let's talk a little bit about that whole situation in Abaco, even though we're going to do a future show on solutions, because I just came across a WhatsApp message that was sent, I guess, on that day that somehow I missed. This person is talking about, or maybe I should save this for when we're doing the actual show on solutions, because this person has a long list of suggestions as to what we can do to fix that problem. But in any event, we're going to take a break. I'm going into the break with this text. It says, a question from the Bahamas for Bahamian Legal Residents Org. Here is a question we must ask the Minister of Immigration, Keith Bell. If the systems are intently manning our waters, how do the illegal migrants get through to invade our lands? Good question to ponder. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Stay with us.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
Welcome back to TGIF Open Line show on GPS here on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to the show.
Malcolm.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Okay, if you could recall when we was discussing about closing down the stores before the Christmas, I told you it ain't gonna happen. And
You're talking about the food stores?
yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
It never take place because Christmas Eve, people were around that same one of them same big building. Me and you, we didn't call no name the building, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They ain't gonna do it because why?
They're going to lose money if they do.
It seemed to me like every business people, the union, government are bowing down to these people. Government are not making this hard decision because if you was the government and everybody comes to you telling you do this, you gotta do this, and you go ahead and do these things without putting up and letting people know how you feel for the better for the country and the people, then everybody will come and just press your button and you just go ahead and do it. Now you got the people, the teachers, them in Eleuthera, Harbor Island. You can tell me now, whoever making the decision to replace these teachers in different places, locate them and here and there, you mean to tell me they don't know that they are short of teachers in these places? Ma'am, I think this government better get it together. They are running this country just like a little $2 wing chicken place and 5-cent candy and things like that, and salty sausages and stuff like that. They gotta make some hard decision and get this place together because they start off good, but they on the wrong track now. I can guarantee you, if we would have had Mr. Ingram, not Mr. Minnis, Mr. Ingram, these people would not be carrying on the way they carrying on now. Mr. Ingram will tell you, sure as this day and nightfall, you better get it together. But you see, it's too much things. This government, and it seemed to me like Mr. Pentard have more time on the radio than the Prime Minister, and they look like they talking to him more. He get more time to say things than the Prime Minister. You always see him, the Prime Minister, talking and stuff like that.
Well, I should hope that's because he's busy running a country. But listen, I have a caller who's calling from a cell phone, eh?
Okay.
Thanks for calling. Okay. Hello, caller, and welcome to GPS.
Madam Michelle.
Yes, sir.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes. Did I wish you Happy New Year?
Same to you.
I can't remember. Did I?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Okay, I want to say Happy New Year to you, your colleagues at the Global, and to the nation. I want to wish everyone health. My mind is on JT, the brother. I can't remember. I can't remember hearing JT for a long time. But if JT is listening, for some reason,
he was on today.
Oh, he was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mind is on the brother. For some reason, God put him in my spirit. But Madam Michelle, the homicide started already again in 2023. Madam Michelle, I know I am basically becoming very annoying to a lot of people. But Madam Michelle, the passion will not go away about the condition of the traditional family structure.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother JT make very, very good contribution.
Excuse me.
But I hope that one day that he will join in on this fight along with me to see the assault. I like some position that JT take, and I like some position you take. And I will say this openly. There's a show that Green Peas hosts. I am certain that JT don't support that show. And I know that you will not allow the Green Peas spirit to come on your show.
What is Green Peas spirit? What is?
I leave that alone.
Okay,
I finished with
that
that.
one went straight over my head. I'm so sorry.
Yes, let that go straight over your head.
Okay.
We're not going to do the Green Peas spirit on your show. Okay. We're going to keep this stable so folk can make good contribution like JT. But listen, Madam Michelle, this assault on the family, I see a dysfunctional person was locked up in Russia. And she was released. America did everything in their power. I want JT to see where I'm going, to have this person released and sent back.
Mm-hmm.
And as this person released, this person, I am coming home to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is saying to another woman, I am coming home to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And a man is saying to another man, I am going on to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, America is a place of influence. And this is where the assault is on the traditional family structure.
Mm.
When a man is going to make himself a wife and a woman going to make herself a husband, what we dealing with? But Green Peas and those will host a show like this, and they support that. You see, you got to look at this conspiracy. And children are being adopted into this environment. This is what's so scary. And if a man miss two consultant adults and miss and have an extramarital affairs on his wife, big news, he become an outcast. I am not saying that is right. But the world, it seems to be settling and accepting a woman who decides to be a husband and a man who decides to be a wife. Something has to be wrong with that. And this is where I have a problem with persons with liberal views trying to impose their views on my 5 grandchildren. I have a serious problem, and I will go down fighting. You want to compete with me? You want to compete with me? And I thought marriage was to celebrate. But you want to compete with me, and then I decide to take a stand, then you get all upset. Then you have your sisters want man to go to jail for one say life, one say 12 years, and one say whatever. I thought intimacy was a part of marriage.
Yeah, intimacy is, but not abuse.
I
Now,
agree.
Let me
But
just say this to you.
Let me make this last one, and then you could respond. If I am convinced when intimacy become a problem in marriage, that marriage is over. Something is wrong. You might as well get out. You know, law put me together. God put us together. So when this going to become that, then the marriage is finished. Because I am of the belief that intimacy is a part of marriage. That's why you're married. But when that become a problem in marriage, then you need to get out.
Well, first of all, not all marriages have been put together by God.
Agreed. Agreed. Well said.
Let's not
Well
confuse
said.
the two.
Their motive. Yeah, their motive. I agree with that.
Now, I want to challenge you. And I'll use myself as an example. Many, many years ago, when the late Dr. Miles Monroe, who was my mentor, and he was just a very special person in my life, my pastor for well over 20 years, my mentor, my advisor.
I know the history, right? We know the history.
He
We
was
all
a very important part of my life. And so I used to go to him often just to talk or for advice or whatever. And one day I went to him and I complained to that man for much a good half hour, talking about the wrongs that were going on within the pageantry, the beauty pageant industry at the time here in the Bahamas, because that's one of my passions. And I was just going on and on and on and on about they're not developing these young women and yada, 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 yada. I just went on and on and on. And he just sat there and he listened. And when I finally stopped complaining, you know what he said to me? He said to me, "So what are you going to do about it?" He said, "Because if this bothers you that much, clearly this is something that you are supposed to fix. How do you know your purpose in life?" He always used to talk about this. What makes you angry? What are you saying? Somebody needs to do something about this. Chances are that somebody is you. And that's why you are so angry about it. So I say that to say, what are you going to do about it? That was a question.
Can I respond?
Please do.
Madam Michelle, you're my sister in the Lord. I hope our good friend don't take this personal. But I will continue to fight. The passion cannot go away. I am saying...
When I ask you, what are you going to do about it?
I just told you, I'm trying to finish. We're talking about, we need, the influence and the message on the traditional family. I just can't get it. Why is it that there's not a fight for the traditional family structure?
Who is going to lead the fight?
I don't understand. One, I don't understand why there's not a fight on the homicide of our black young men who being homicide every other day.
Are you willing to lead the fight?
But this young man come here the other day, and all he did come with a briefcase full of money, and everybody run behind him.
You ain't answering my question, though.
Let's talk off here.
What are you going to do about? And this is not trying to throw you under the bus or anything.
I hear you. I hear you.
When Pastor Miles asked me that question,
you're challenging me.
Do you know that is how the Miss Bahamas organization was formed?
You challenge me and I hear you. But me and JT, I gonna have JT as one of my armor bearer. We're gonna start this fight because there should be a conversation as to what's going on in this country with the traditional family structure.
Somebody got to do it, and maybe that somebody is you. Somebody got to do it. But
yes,
my point is this.
There is no conversation from the pastors.
So
you
my point,
hear it from the church.
My point,
all you hear come and get rich and prosperity, but there is no conversation on our young men being slaughtered, our young men being murdered.
So head the movement. Head the movement. That's my challenge to you. Lead the movement. Be the change that you want to see and influence that. Because clearly, if you are this passionate about it, then maybe, just maybe, you're supposed to do something to fix it.
Let me, can I ask you a question?
Apart from this, complain about it.
Can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
My good friend and your former colleague. My good friend. He is my personal friend.
Who are you talking about?
The minister, Obi Richcomb. I think he is out to lunch.
Okay.
What you think?
I don't know why you said that.
He's the Minister of Social Service, and
yeah.
Yes. Shouldn't he have persons in position who can deal or have some influence on this social dilemma that we have in our country?
How do you know he does not?
Anyway, when tell me who they are, then let me know.
I didn't say I know who they are. I just asked you, how do you know he does not?
That's your former colleague, you know.
So you said to say what?
I go on. Tell me who they are. That's your former colleague. Tell me who they are. He is my friend. He is out to lunch.
Anyhow, I want you to ponder.
Maybe you need to go there.
So why are you trying to move me from where God placed me?
Anyway, I go on.
So you got to know your role. You got to know your role.
We in the fight today. I believe our friend is out to lunch because you can't have homicide as usual in this country and social service is sleeping. Okay. Something wrong with that. I go on.
Make sure you ponder that challenge I give you, though. Thank you for calling. People, if something bothering you, this is something I learned with that conversation with Miles Monroe. If something is bothering you that much and it's eating you up inside and you're talking about somebody need to, maybe you're the somebody who need to. What are you going to do about the problems that you want to see fixed? And if you ain't willing to get your hands dirty and get in the trenches and help to fix the problem, then you part of the problem. And quite frankly, I don't hear the complaining if you ain't willing to do something about it to fix it. When Pastor Miles threw that challenge out to me, I left there and I went and I put pen to paper and I started laying out the foundation for the Miss Bahamas organization. That's how that got started, from that conversation with him. What are you going to do about the problems that you say you want to see fixed? If you only into complaining, hush. Because we got more than enough people complaining. What are you going to do to fix these problems that need to be fixed? We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
I just wanted to get from you, I want to start my family on a more good supplementary, diet, so to speak. And I just wanted to get, if I can get from you, probably some basic.
So here's what you need to do. Leave your contacts with my producer. But if you go to, because today is not a day for that on this show, but if you go to my official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page, there is pinned to the top of that page a link that will take you to a health evaluation. And what you need to do is go there. It's completely free. Fill out that health evaluation. It'll be a series of, I think, about 4 sections of 20 questions that will help us to determine what your nutritional needs are. And once you click I accept at the end of that survey, it will email you a copy of the results, as well as a copy will come to me, and then I'll reach out to you and we'll schedule a consultation and I can guide you as to what you need to be taking.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
All right.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take another break. Yeah, I on the other side of this break, I'm gonna go back to what the caller before the last caller was referring to when he was talking about the education problem, because there was a protest this past week where parents and teachers and Eleuthera are standing up for what they believe is not happening and is happening in the school system there. We'll be back with more on the other side. Stay with us.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this TGIF Open Line show, where we look at the week that was or anything else you guys want to talk about. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line 8010271, 8010271. Here now is that report on the protests that took place in Eleuthera as it relates to shortages of teachers and more.
It's been a major concern in recent months, causing students to miss out on a quality learning experience. And today, a teacher shortage, coupled with safety concerns, led a group of peeved parents and teachers to gather at the entrance of Preston H. Albury High School in South Eleuthera. Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson tells us these challenges have persisted for too long.
And the shortages are in mathematics, English language, technical drawing. And the major concerns, in addition to the teacher shortage, is the discipline problems that teachers have been faced with on the campus. So on the campus, they've had several violent incidences. The union had to intervene on behalf of 2 teachers who were immediately reassigned because students would have gone onto their property and vandalized the apartment, and they would have punctured the tires on the teacher's vehicle.
Education Director Dominique Russell tells Eyewitness News tonight that the ministry is fully aware of those challenges.
We do have 2 teachers to replace those teachers who have been redeployed. You know, we're asking the school, along with all of the other stakeholders, that's including parents and the persons in the community, just as we have done in other schools, to create a comprehensive discipline program that ensures that there are preventative measures in place.
In videos making their rounds on social media, the group can be seen holding up signs reading, "There's no discipline," and "We need change now," all while chanting, "We demand respect." Wilson says teachers are now at the point where they're not prepared to continue with this new school year with business as usual, adding that there's a number of other schools experiencing similar challenges.
Moores Island, Abaco, they are in need of a primary teacher, a social studies teacher, and an English language teacher. Well, we have Harbor Island, all age, and they are in need. Their students in grade 4 and 5 have been without teachers from August of last year. They do not have a religious studies teacher. They do not have a social studies teacher. They do not have a physical education teacher. They do not have a guidance counselor. They're in need of a security officer, and they have scarcity of furniture. And what bothers me so much as the union leader is we would send this information into education, and people always talk about diplomacy. We use diplomacy, but diplomacy does not work.
Now, this isn't the first set of challenges teachers have encountered over the past several months. In fact, Wilson says she finds that things aren't resolved until industrial action's practically knocking on the ministry's front door. She expresses her frustrations.
What's so sad for us is that year in and year out, we see the same problems in the system. What we want is for a plan for education to be presented and for it to be implemented, monitored, and executed in a manner where we can see that the system has changed.
Today's protest was supported by the union, according to Wilson, who adds that if teachers feel the need to take it up a notch, they will do so.
Okay. This raises several concerns, one of which was brought up by the person who called in the last segment. And it is something that Belinda alluded to in that particular report. She's saying that, people say, well, why aren't you more diplomatic, etc. But based on what she's saying, it seems that at least she feels that the only way to get action from the relevant agency is to make the matter public via way of protest or sit-ins or whatever. And if that is true, that is most unfortunate. But she does raise a very important, and so did the caller, point about what we're doing as it relates to meeting or dealing with this shortage of teachers. We know that the school year comes up every year. We know when the semester is going to be every year, except for there's some natural disaster or stopping it. You know when school is going to start. How is it that do we just not have sufficient teachers in the system? Is that the case? Do we need to be putting more emphasis on recruiting others to enter the field? And if you're going to do that, do we need to place some kind of emphasis on making lives more comfortable for our teachers, particularly those who have to travel to family islands? I've been told of situations, at least one teacher I know in Abaco was telling me how they, I don't know if it was Abaco. Anyway, one teacher on one family island was saying how they getting calls from their landlord because of they haven't been paid, and so they can't pay their rent, and so the landlord getting ready to put them out. I think I may have seen that on a news report. But, why? Traditionally, the lion's share of our economy is spent on education. Yet, we have to see our teachers sitting in, complaining. And then this whole situation about discipline and having children come to your home and flatten your tires and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what country we living in. Parents got to step up. How these children get that out of control? In my day, you wouldn't dare to talk about you running up in no teacher face or attacking teachers and no. How have we gotten to this place where these children are so out of hand that teachers have to be reassigned for fear. What kind of nonsense is going on in this country? But yet, here we are. So if you are going to want to attract more teachers, you got to do what it takes to attract these teachers. And make their lives a little bit more comfortable and make sure the school is up and ready in time and make sure there's security on the school campuses. Unfortunately, that's where we are at. Jillian says, why every year the system gets worse and worse, the payments are affected totally. You know, I don't know what to say, Jillian. It's like we always seem to be caught, you know, off guard. Like we didn't know the school year was coming up. And therefore we couldn't prepare adequately. And maybe it's because the new financial year doesn't kick in until July, and school open in September, and maybe that's not sufficient time to get everything done when the new budget finally kicks in. I don't know. But we got to figure out a way to fix this problem, because it can't be where there's always this reaction as opposed to being proactive and fixing these problems before they become problems. We have to wait until we get to the place where teachers and parents are sitting out. We talk about the education of our children, y'all. These are the youngsters who are going to take over when we ain't here no more. What kind of future are we setting up for ourselves when something as key as education is dropping the ball? That we are dropping the ball in that area. This is a problem. This is a problem. We have to do better. We have to fix this system once and for all, so we won't have to see these kinds of protests taking place. Children aren't being educated at the level that they should be because the systems just aren't working. Come on, man. We got to do a better job at this. It's been going on for far too long. And it's not, I don't believe that we don't know what needs to be done. And again, I don't know if it's financial constraint or just people not doing their jobs. I don't know what the situation is. But this is not good because, again, we're talking about the education of the future leaders of this country. So with all the money that's being spent on education in this country, on the educational system in this country, we need to see better. We need to see more. And I know and believe that Glenys Hannah Martin is a very competent woman. And I just hope that she uses the strength that I know her to have to clean up that Department of Education to the degree where it starts to function more effectively. And I really do think that both sides, both the Department of Education and the Bahamas Union of Teachers, need to work more closely together so that we are not plagued with this ongoing problem. Now, according to Belinda, diplomacy doesn't work. And if that is so, that is most unfortunate. I know Belinda ain't no easy woman either. And I could say that because, I could say that. I ain't got no problem with her personally, but she ain't easy to deal with. So I get that. But y'all got to find some kind of mutual ground because the nation's future is at stake when you're talking about education. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, WhatsApp line 801-0271, 801-0271. Please do not call the WhatsApp line. Somebody's trying to call earlier. Please do not leave a voice note on the WhatsApp line. That's for text messages only. Okay, so let me read a couple of your Facebook messages. Shemaine says, I want to know what's happening under the sheets financially in this country. You better take a number. Join the line. Pritchard, I can't pronounce that first name, says, but what if past governments wouldn't approve proposals presented to them? Okay. Shemaine says, people have to change our mindset as the people so change could come. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, good day, Lady Malcolm.
Hi.
All right. You know, I is a young person. I really hit close to 40 yet, right? But I honestly believe the first step we got to take in getting our country back, we need a shiny, brand new police force.
Mm-hmm.
We need a police force that nobody is above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we live in a country where people can go and do any all type of foolishness because they know they get this one number, or they know they are part of this softball team, or they are part of this, or they are part of all type of other nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And they could call and bargain or get the way because they're above the law. With the educational system, once you get the crime under control, whereas you have a commissioner in there,
Mm-hmm.
if a problem arises, the commissioner will let his men and women do their job without interference. The children, that same the discipline up top will trickle down to the children. Because right now we have a situation whereas anybody can pop on anything with a float and come here, and they live in a parallel society, and that society is lawless. So now when they reach a certain age where they can hold a knife in their hand and jump the teacher tire, or they feel like they get some muscles, they can attack this one or attack the next one. That's what they're going to do. And we reach your backpedaling, trying to catch our footing because we're reacting, because we keep going through the same song and dance from these same people for the last 100 years plus. We got to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I go on.
Okay. Thank you for calling. That's definitely one aspect of the problem that we would have to look at. I don't think it stops there, but that is one aspect. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Golly days is dark in the way so long with you, Michelle.
Hey, Bremen.
We need justice, law, and order in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I agree with you 100%. You took some words out my mouth if I had remembered the number to call, right?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You were so right. You got to be the remedy or a remedy for good.
Right.
Don't just complain, or don't just try to get other people on your bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
See, for the simple reason that you can't make somebody to love you. You can't make somebody love you. If you know the problem, then you go out there and establish yourself to establish a resolution to the problem.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I love the way you put it. Man, I was so 100% with you.
Okay.
But let me show you something. When it comes to the educational system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Glennis Hannah Martin, she is doing a beautiful job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with Miss Wilson, but you know she got to look out for the union people.
Absolutely, she's doing her job. She's doing her job. Yeah,
that's right. But I don't think you could find a better person than what's her name, Miss Martin. You know,
Hannah Martin. Yeah.
Right, Hannah Martin. Right, you can't find a better person. She is an intelligent woman, and she got the feel for children. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she doing the best better than anybody that you would put in there. The best person I've seen being there during the PLP was that guy. What's his name? Is from America. What was living in America? I forgot what his name is. The lawyer.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
Oh boy, I think he has married one of those Battle sisters. I can't remember his name, and I know him so good. Anyhow, but continue doing well, and I with Hannah Martin to the call because she's doing a beautiful job with the children.
Thank you so much, Raymond. Thank you for
Thank
calling.
you.
Thank you. Listen, you got two strong personalities, and usually that means fireworks. But if they could find a way to come together and really work together, man, the change we would see. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yes, I just want to congratulate. I watched some of the award service with the students yesterday, and it was really a sight to behold to see the level of brilliance that we produced in the Bahamas, and they're going to go off now and represent us well. I know because they always do.
Right.
But a lot of it's like a chorus with the speakers, a lot of the speakers, the adults in the room, they were partly begging them to come back home. Okay? Come back home. We need you. Come back home. Including the minister. A passionate nation. But, we have to actually give these young people something to come back home to.
Right.
Something, to look forward to. Some come and when they come, a lot of them come. My nephew is here, his father's funeral, and he lives in Ireland, and he's an engineer over there. And, we were having a discussion, and we were saying that we can't pay you the type of money that you earn overseas. And he said, no, he said, if I find the right, I'm sure I can find what I do. I can find the right, you understand, the salary and everything else, benefits and so forth here in the Bahamas. So I just want to reiterate that we have such brilliance here, and we need our young people to come, when they're done, do what you have to do, but at the end of the day, try and see what you can do to help build this country.
Bottom line is, you said it yourself, you have to make it attractive for them to come back home.
Right, but I feel as if, you hear a lot of criticism, you hear a lot of things that flaws that this government, certainly what they're doing, stepping in it, if you understand, and being made held accountable. And they have to answer these questions, and they have to do these things. And, it takes new blood, it takes someone looking from a different position. So sometimes, because if you continuously walk, like Mr. Davis just said, the Prime Minister, he's now in the seat. If he's walking down, like how he was trying to rush on Bay Street, Buckland, and then stumbling, right? People pointed it out. If you are walking or walking along as a leader, and no one is telling you, hey, there's a flaw here, or this what's your step, or you're misstepping here, or whatever like that, you will continuously walk that same road, that same narrow stretch, and not even being able to have like tunnel vision or being able to see anything around, because everyone who is under you, who is right, if you take a step, they take a step on your heel, on the side of you, they're telling you you're doing well, you're doing a good job, keep going. If you're wrong, or if you're heading the wrong direction, and this is why I say we need, as far as people from other vantage points, to point these things out. It may be harsh, it may be difficult to hear, you may not appreciate it, but guess what? If that is what it takes to set this place right, or set the situation right, then so be it. And in reference to education, the literature and the schools, the teacher shortages in the schools, I applaud those parents. You understand? Because if people over here in New Providence or other schools can have a teacher or have in every subject area that they need, why is it that the schools like the Family Islands or whatever, why is it that children cannot, by this time, have someone in that classroom, You understand? Dealing with them, and as a parent, I would fight right down to my last breath because education is so important.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So as far as that is concerned, I hope whatever needs to be done is done. You understand, Ms. Martin? They say she's doing, yes, she is doing a good job, but you can always do better. When it comes to education, you cannot sit down and relax. There's no time, and you take on that position as far as educating our children, our students, so that they can be in a position like those students yesterday who have excelled and will continue to excel and represent this country and come back or even from afar contribute to this country to build this country.
Right.
Because in a few years or whatever, I guess, we will all be, those people in the position, they will all have moved off the scene. So we need people to really be put in the position. And like I say, they need to adulate continuously until they get, because every day, one day you miss your class, one day you miss your level of your education, it's one day too many.
Boy, when you think about how many students still are not back in the classroom, even after COVID, we heard about all of the students who weren't logging on for various reasons. And we're now back to face, and many of them have not showed back up to school. You know how that's going to impact us in the future?
The recovery, it's so sad that's serious, it's sad. And then when we look and we see the foreign element that comes into play. And I'm not just speaking about the Haitian, I'm speaking about the foreign element on a whole.
Right.
As far as the qualifications, because the first thing they say when in these positions, they say our persons are not qualified. They don't have this or they don't have that. And like I said, I need an update as well as to what's happening with the missing, with those students who have not returned to the classroom.
Right.
The research is being done because, like you said, we are missing out on a lot of years to come. We're going to feel the effects of it. But Michelle, like I always say, have a safe weekend. And Mohammed, the same to you all as well.
Same to you. Thank you for calling. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue our TGIF Open Line. So remember, guys, you are my co-host for the day. So let's hear from you. Telephone number is 3260271, 3260271, 3260272. 3260272 and the WhatsApp line 801 for text messages only 801-0271. We'll be back.
At Lee Air, safety is our number one priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this TGIF Open Line show, where you are my co-host, and we get to talk about the week that was, give you an opportunity to get it off your chest. Purge within reason. The telephone numbers to call, 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, the WhatsApp line for text messages only. 801-0271, 801-0271. I hear the phone. I'm going to wait until my producer lets me know whether or not that's a call for the show. Is it? Yes. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, boy.
I need you to turn down your radio or whatever you're listening to me on, please. And then go ahead and speak.
Good morning, good afternoon, Michelle Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
This is Ken Alana from Freeport.
How you doing?
Now, Michelle, as we going on this crisis with all the schools, the children and stuff, it always been planted in the songs with Tupac saying, ain't no future for the kids. And all they doing is putting in tuition. The teachers scared to go to school because this generation now is no future. It ain't gonna be no future, and that's how it's planned. It's all a plan, and we can't stop it unless we wake up and fight. And the said who got the money ain't gonna fight with the people who don't got it, and it's gonna stay like that because ain't nobody gonna come down to the level because some people got it and they don't really care, and the rest who care, they ain't. That's the said who got it.
Does it have to do with money, though? Please turn down your radio. Does it have to do with money, though? When I was growing up, I didn't grow up in a rich family, but there was discipline in the household. There was discipline. So what does it have to do with money?
Well, I'm trying to tell you, for us to change what's going on as black people in this Grand Bahama, the people got the money, got to join in with the people who don't got the money. And once it's separated like that, we ain't going to win because it's going to take all us to win. You understand? So what's going on in the movement in these schools, they planting that. That's their movement. And we can stop it, but we got to come together. And if we don't love each other and come together, we doomed.
Unruly children, you believe, is a movement?
Pardon me?
These unruly children, you believe, is a movement? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they fixed it. They fixed it to be a movement. It's been brought down with the elite, and they've been singing these songs. You go back to one or two Bob music when he say there's no future for the kids. You got to read between the lines. It's message and all these things going around in our lives.
So this the movement what they doing is not the movement with the least doing, and it ain't got nothing to do with the poor. It ain't got to do with the poor. It got to do with the mind, the mindset. They set everything. They had Doreen in Abaco. They had Doreen. So they did what they had to do. Now everything is discombobulated. Now nobody's happy. So how the children gonna act in school? It's nothing. So they plan it. They create it. You have a good day, Sister Malcolm. You marinate on that.
Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling. You know, let me just say this. Our parents were pretty tough on us in many instances. We knew that they loved us, but they were pretty tough on us. And I think a part of the problem is you had a lot of people who had kids after, that generation who decided that I want to make life easier for my children than it was for me. So certain things that my parents did to discipline me, or certain things that they did to deny me of what I'm going to make sure my child has everything, and I'm going to make my child's life a bed of roses, and they're not going to feel like I felt when, struggle, whatever. And so we have raised a generation of children who believe that they are entitled, who believe that no one is supposed to discipline them and tell them no. And this in large part, and it's not always the case, because in some cases these kids come from homes that are really very unsuitable. Bad parenting, abuse, neglect. But in some cases, we have created children that believe that the world owes them something because they have never had to, based on the way they were raised, account for anything, because everything is just put in their laps, because I want my child's life to be easier than mine. If your parents were doing such a horrible job at raising you, how you turn out to be the decent person that you are? Maybe, just maybe, there was some wisdom in what they were doing. I'm not saying that they did everything perfect, but a lot of times in this country, we are guilty of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And I dare say that that is a major part of this disciplinary problem that we have right now. And then to children having children. Because back in the day, if I get myself in any kind of problems at school, I will make sure my mother ain't find out. Now, these children go home and talk, well, my teacher say this and do this, and then the parent don't come fight the teacher. We got this thing backwards. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
I just want to touch on this one point, and I finish. I think Miss Hannah Martin is doing an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I see, the people that are around her should not make this burden too heavy for her.
Mm-hmm.
You have a East superintendent for the East, the South, the North, and the West. They're supposed to be doing their job, knowing what the school needs, what the school need repair,
right,
how many teachers need to be in these things, pass it down to the minister, and then take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do. And when they ain't doing what they're supposed to do, the minister got to make some hard decision now, clear the smoke from around her.
Clean up.
And it's simple as that.
Clean up, clean up, clean up.
Clean up. And this what they see, this what I always look at this government. They always look like they're afraid to clean up and move some people who are not doing the work. They are afraid to hear, oh, you see, they come back, they do it. Man, listen, either the people are going to be making noise anyway, so you might as well clean up. And they only can make noise for a certain time. When they see the good of it, then they can say, no, it was good. Come on, if I am in charge and I place you over this affair, next one over another affair, brother, if it ain't going right, you're going to be removed. And it's simple as that. Because at the end of the day, you're going to sleep at ease, and I got to be up thinking and worried and fretting over this and the next thing. No, sir. And that's all they got to do. Clean up. And you will see a whole new brown system. I see now they saying they putting a bus in the schoolyard. This how serious this country come to now. You got to put the bus in the schoolyard for the children to hurry up, get on the bus, so it wouldn't be this and the next thing, which is good. You understand? No problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But when we find these little children that want to chuck up teachers' tie in the next thing, we can deal with that. And my last point I want to say on this, if what the government should start doing now, teachers that are coming in to the teacher, they should now have a agreement that's signed. When you coming in the teachers, we can transport you or put you on the family island or this to the next place. Everybody wants to stay right now, so it can't work. You understand what I'm saying, Ms. Malcolm?
I hear you.
Just all you got to do, a contract. You coming in the wake now, okay. Now, if there's need for you to go to the family island, you go to the family island.
But the thing is, though, if you ask them to sign that contract, then you got to make it comfortable when they get to the family island. It can't be very good in hardship.
Sure.
Because then nobody can want to deal with that.
No, well, all that too. Same way is, because same way the policeman, you got, if you signing this, you got to go there. You got to go there. If everybody stay in Nassau, then who can teach? Who can patrol the family island?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ms. Malcolm.
I hear your point. All right. Thanks for calling. We have one more break. Let's take this break, and then we're going to look at another issue in the few minutes that we have left in the show that made headlines this week. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. Brayman, if you're still listening, I think the person you were trying to remember the name of was Alfred Sears. Thanks to Yvette Stewart, who put that on the Facebook comments to remind me of who you were possibly talking about. All right, so I had a couple other things pulled that I thought we could talk about today. And if I look over all of the ones that I had pulled, I think the one that I will go with in these last 9 minutes of the show is to do with COVID. Because obviously this will impact more people than the other stories that I had pulled for today. In case you are unaware, COVID is spiking again in some countries, in China in particular, where this whole madness started. The numbers are staggering, even though the government there has been apparently trying to keep quiet as to what the numbers really look like there, which is exactly what they did at the beginning of this pandemic, before they were forced to come clean. Well, here we go again. There's a new strand that is now becoming the dominant strain of COVID. And in China, they are experiencing a lot of deaths. Millions of people infected, and a lot of people are dying every day, even though the government there seems to be trying to keep the real figures under wraps. So much so that there are certain countries that are putting limitations or restrictions on travel from China into their countries. And our Minister of Health was recently questioned as to what the Bahamas is doing to prepare for what could be yet another wave of COVID. And here now is more on that.
Not only are COVID cases spiking in China, our neighbors to the north are battling the newest COVID variant. Over the weekend, the Ministry of Health had to issue statements saying so far there have been no confirmed cases of the new Omicron subvariant known as XBB.1.5 in the Bahamas. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Darville.
I'm pleased to report that we are able to handle the situation as it is today. And as of yesterday, 18 cases is in hospital and 1 is in ICU.
The health minister assures us that there have been no indications based on lab results of that new variant in the Bahamas, but he says even still.
For us at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, our job is to be ready for any situation. We are operating as if it is in country, even though we may not have a verification at this time.
Both England and the United States have made it a requirement for negative COVID test results for travelers coming from China. But Darville seemed hesitant to hastily jump on that bandwagon.
One of the things we must be mindful is when we begin to isolate a particular group of individuals and demand testing for one group versus the other. That is something we're concerned about. But we're mindful to do what is in the best interest of the Bahamian people. At this particular point, we have not made that decision. I do not know if that'll change before the end of the week or next week. But as far as it is today, that is not our plan at this point.
If you see a country where reportedly 250 million people have come down with this thing, where there are reports coming out of that country, albeit not from the government, of thousands of people dying every day, and you worried about putting restrictions on one set of people and not the other? Are you serious? And it ain't like wait and see what happened at the beginning of this pandemic when there is slow action. Y'all can't be serious. I understand that you have to be concerned as a politician about the relationship between countries and all this kind of stuff. And y'all don't want to do anything to ruffle the feathers of, the powerful Chinese. But y'all better try hard, put Bahamian people first and stop doing foolishness. but you don't want to single out a particular set of people when thousands of people dying over there every day. And without COVID, we could hardly keep up with the demand, any kind of spike in demand in our healthcare system. And you talking foolishness about you run into a challenge when you're trying to single out one set of people. Y'all better put paying people first, man. In the words of Forrest Gump, stupid is as stupid does. We ain't got time for no diplomacy when people's lives could potentially be at stake. And the only message y'all can come with is, oh, get a job, get another job. Anyhow, Bahamian people, a word to the wise is sufficient. If you haven't started yet, start now to boost your immune system. Start now. Don't wait till we get to a critical stage, and God forbid that we do. Hopefully we won't, but start now to naturally boost your immune system. I look at all these people who coming down with these sudden diseases and all this sudden death, even here in the Bahamas, which nobody wants to talk about. Everybody's sticking their head in the sand like if we don't look at it, it don't exist. Start now, people, to boost your natural immune system. Don't wait. Because if this man talking about, well, we gonna wait and see what happened, and we ain't want to single out one set of people when this thing exploding in that one set of people country, and now spreading to other countries, and you don't want to do what you need to do from now to try to minimize the potential of that coming here, y'all got to be joking. This kind of thing does annoy me to no end. When are we going to put Bahamian people first? Above political science. Caller, if this is a caller for the show, this could be the last one because we only got 3 minutes left in the show. But yeah, man, this whole thing with this pandemic, yeah, this has made me so angry and disillusioned. Not with just the way it's been handled here in this country, but if you look at what is going on around the world, and it's like this spirit of stupor has fell over people and they can't see the truth for what it is. We have a call on the line. Caller, you got to make this quick because I only got 2 minutes left in the show. Welcome to GPS.
I'm going to make it quick. Help me, Sister Malcolm. What they say, the rooster come the roost, how'd I go? The chicken come the roost?
Yeah.
The chicken come the roost?
Chicken come home the roost, yeah.
This is the fourth wave. Conspiracy theory. We can't do nothing about it, Michelle. Conspiracy. I see it. Kendall on a Freeport. Yeah. Chicken come the roost, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do something about it for you and your family. Start boosting your immune system.
Together right now, today, because whatever happened in the part of the world is coming here. Just like when they had the third, the second. It's coming. Come on, man.
Kendall, I gotta let you go though. I gotta let you go because there's only 1 minute left. But I hear what you're saying.
Love you.
Thanks for calling. People, be wise here. Use your brain what God give you. Stop listening to this narrative what ain't making no sense and start to think for yourselves, because it's more and more evident to me that they ain't thinking for you. Start boosting your natural immune system. Listen, I'm going to be out most of next week, but the show will continue. We will have a guest host sitting in the seat for me. So please continue to tune in and support our guest host next week. Until I return, God willing, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for being a part of GPS. Take care.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions